We are on the road, baby. I just pulled the car off the driveway. I set the GPS up. Took my shoes on. In New York with no shoes on. Can y'all see that? No shoes. Yeah, I'm gonna be comfortable. It is. Time is it, cousin? 3:41. 3:41 in the morning.
Hey, I wasn't supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to be at the Diddy trial. At least not that day, not that early, not with a bag full of camera gear, 2 hoodies, and no sleep. But that's how Uncle Mike moves. I don't wait on no schedule. I don't wait for a perfect time. When that voice inside tells me to go, I listen. See, here's what really happened. It was late, 2:30 in the morning. The whole house was still. Lights off, the laptop was shut, the phone was charging, but my mind was on fire. I was laying there, eyes wide open in the dark, just thinking about the trial, about all the videos, all the noise online, all the lies, all the silence, and then that little whisper came in. Not out loud, but in my spirit. You could be driving right now. That's it. Not some grand message, not some epiphany with thunder and lightning. Just one sentence. You could be driving. So I sat up. Didn't think, didn't scroll, didn't ask nobody. I just moved. I got up out that bed like I was on assignment from God. Opened the closet, grabbed a duffel, tossed in 2 shirts, a few pairs of socks, and a hoodie I wear when I'm not trying to impress nobody.
Cassie just went into labor.
Then I turned to my gear. Mic, pack, camera, check, tripods, laptop, chargers, cords, all in. Memory cards, backup batteries, even that one light I never use, just in case. I didn't book no hotel, didn't know where I was gonna park, didn't know how long I'd be there, didn't even tell nobody I was leaving. All I knew was one thing, I needed to see it with my own eyes. I grabbed my keys, took one last look at the clock, 2:42 a.m., said a quiet prayer. God, let me witness something real. And just like that, I pulled out the driveway, headed to New York. When I finally got into the city, it felt like I had crossed into another world. The buildings got taller, the streets got tighter, and that New York buzz, even in the early morning, it was loud in the silence. I wasn't even sure where I was gonna stay. I had some places bookmarked, but nothing was locked in. Just like the whole trip, I was moving off faith and fumes. I pull up to this spot, and I swear it was like God held the room just for me. 1 block away from the courthouse, 2 buildings away from where I parked. Let me say that again. I could walk out my hotel, turn the corner, and be at the front steps of the trial. I didn't even realize how blessed I was at the time. I was too tired to think about it.
A note to yourself. Now I done came all the way out here in front. I should have just used this. I left the SIM card, so I gotta go back. I gotta go back to my hotel room. I left my SIM card. So yeah, I guess everybody in New York ain't that friendly. But luckily, see, that was a good luck. Now, if my hotel was real far and I came up here, so this is worth the $200. I left my SIM card for the camera, can't record nothing. So now I gotta go back to the hotel room, which is walking distance. Car parking is walking distance. Yeah, plenty of parking now. Even though it's a tollway zone, so this is plenty of parking. Because it's early in the morning.
I just saw the sign, saw the empty lobby, and said, yep, this it. Checked in, went upstairs, dropped my bag on the floor, boom, and stood there looking out the window like, you really did this, huh? No entourage, no reservation, no blueprint, just me, God. A bag full of gear and a hunger for the truth. I ain't sleep right away. I unpacked the camera, mic, laptop, set it all up like I was in the war room. I checked all my batteries, cleared memory cards, adjusted my rig. Then I paced, then I sat, then I laid down. But I couldn't rest because something told me this story was already starting. I left the hotel while it was still dark outside. Sky had that early gray tint like the sun wasn't fully sure if it wanted to show up. 6:20 a.m. That's what time I hit the sidewalk. And let me tell you something. I thought I was late. I wanted to be there by 6 sharp. Thought I was slipping, but I didn't know God had already lined everything up. The walk, 1 block, my car, 2 buildings down. At the time, I ain't realized how lucky I was. I mean, people had been driving in from Philly, Baltimore, Jersey, and sleeping in their cars. Meanwhile, Uncle Mike got the blessed spot, feet from the front door of Federal Heat. But when I turned the corner and saw the line, woo! This wasn't a line of people standing around scrolling their phones. Nah, this line was layered. First thing that hit me, the tents. Not camping tents. Not the kind of stuff you take your kids in the woods with. These were one-person survival tents, black, low to the ground, just big enough to crawl into and lay flat. I counted one every 2 or 3 people, just scattered up the sidewalk like little pods of hope. And then I saw 2 lay-down pods. Let me explain this right. These were like human Ziploc bags. Once you're in them, you stuck. No room to sit, no way to kneel. You just lay there like a sealed-up story nobody asked to hear. I started making small talk. You know me, trying to sound cool, trying to blend in, trying to come off as not a threat. Yo, this is wild how long y'all been out here. One guy looked at me like I was the feds. Didn't want to say a word. Finally, with a tired look in his eyes, he muttered, "Since 1 a.m. I just nodded. Woo. That's all I could say. But then I noticed something deeper. The front of that line told 2 completely different stories. You had some folks dressed clean, like they were ready for a meeting, polished shoes, courtroom energy, crisp jackets. They looked like they just stepped out of a ride share and into the scene. And then right next to them, street people. I ain't saying that to be rude. I'm saying that because you could see it. Some had no chairs, no tents, no bags, no nothing. Just sitting or laying on the concrete with a face that didn't care what trial was happening. They just wanted to stay still. One guy's shoes caught my attention. And let me tell y'all something. You can tell a lot about a person by their shoes. That's a lesson I learned back in my armed security days. And in criminal justice classes too. Shoes don't lie. Outfit might be dressed up, face might wear a mask, but the shoes tell the truth. This guy's shoes weren't just dirty, they were done. Laces about to snap, soles looking thin as paper, uppers torn up. And yet, you could tell he didn't even care about replacing them. Because if somebody gave him $100 right then, he'd probably buy some food, maybe socks, a bus ticket, but not new shoes. He'd wear these out until the sole split open. And sitting 2 feet away from him, somebody in fresh courtroom boots, coat tailored, hair done, eyes straight ahead like they rehearsed their face in the mirror. I turned to the guy on the ground and asked, "You been here since the beginning of the trial?" He looked at me with the slowest head tilt I ever seen. Like, "Come on, bruh, don't play me." And then he told me the truth. "I'm just holding a place for somebody. He paying me to be here till he shows up." His voice was low, worn down, like the sound of tired. I didn't even catch what time the guy was coming. I didn't need to. The tone told me everything I needed to know. He said he'd give me more if he's late, so please don't leave. I need this spot. And then the last thing he said, "I hope he is running late." Man, that hit me hard. That sidewalk wasn't just about justice. It wasn't just about fame or content or the Diddy trial. It was survival. A few people waiting for court, but more people waiting for a check.
My man got breakfast, man. Where you get that breakfast from? Can I have a bite? Can I have a bite?
Public 10-7.
Part 1E. The gear, the bag, and the one thing I thought I left behind. It always starts the same way. You tell yourself, "I got everything." You look around the room, nod your head, give yourself that final check. Camera, check. Mic, check. Tripod, got it. Laptop, chargers, extra batteries, but there's always one thing, one small thing. And for me, it was the plug for my ring light. That morning was chaos. Not panic, not fear, but the kind of quiet chaos that lives inside people like me. People who move off instinct, off emotion, off faith, not spreadsheets, not calendar invites, just feeling. So there I was, moving through my room like a storm in a studio, rolling cords, folding tripods, shoving gear into a duffel that was never meant to carry this much truth. And the whole time I'm thinking, just don't forget nothing important. Because this ain't just a vlog, it's the Diddy trial, a real federal courtroom where real history is happening in silence. You don't get a second shot at something like this. You only get one chance to capture it right. And then I got to the hotel. I opened the bag, laid everything out like it was mission prep. Camera, mic, memory cards, cables, light. Light plug? Where's the damn light plug? My chest dropped, like literally, my body physically reacted. I felt that warm wave in my neck, that skin-prickling fear that only hits when you realize you might have just messed up everything. I tore through every pocket of that bag, pulled out clothes, unzipped compartments I didn't even know were there, checked under the laptop sleeve, dumped everything on the bed. Nothing. My brain spinning. Did I leave it in the studio? Did it fall out in the driveway? How the hell did I forget this? And I already know what people gonna say. See, that's why you're supposed to plan things out. You should have had a checklist. You gotta stay organized. But here's what I say back. You ever plan a car accident? You ever plan a flat tire? You ever schedule the worst day of your life? Nah, life don't care about your clipboard. Sometimes the most important stories start with no plan at all. I walked down to the car with my hoodie on, hands in my pockets, mad at myself, opened the back seat, looked in the corner behind my gear bag, and there it was, the plug. Not in the bag, not in my hand, just sitting there, chill, quiet, like it never even tried to leave me, like it was just waiting on me to stop panicking and come find it. I exhaled so hard I made myself laugh. All right, we back on. And that was the moment I knew I was ready. Not because I had all the right gear, not because I was fully prepared, but because even in the middle of my mess, God made sure the light came with me.
The Music Recording Network, yeah,
Okay,
we out
that's
here.
What's going on? That's what I do is music, man.
Yeah.
I ain't mad with you, brother. I like that. So now, where you located? Where you from, though?
I'm from DC.
Are you from DC?
Yeah, I drove up from DC.
Wait. No. You should go to fans in the court, but they hold your camera, though.
But I got one thing to say.
Since you came from DC.
But I got one thing to say.
20 minutes.
What you know about the mumbo sauce? What you know about the mumbo sauce? And I'm talking about the original mumbo sauce.
Everybody filming somebody and nobody knows who. Voice, Uncle Mike, observant, amused, thoughtful. The courthouse steps felt like the red carpet. Not because of the glamour, but because of the cameras. Phones, tripods, DSLRs, GoPros. Everywhere you turned, somebody was filming somebody. And most of the time, nobody knew who the hell they were recording. It was wild. I'm standing there with my camera strapped to my chest like it's a mission vest, lens clean, mic armed, batteries full. And next to me, a dude in the Champion hoodie holding an iPhone 7 with a cracked screen saying, "Yo man, I miss my kids, but I gotta get this footage." He was half joking, but you could tell he wasn't lying. Eyes red, hoodie half zipped. You could feel the exhaustion in his voice, not just from lack of sleep, but from life. Stay at home. I told my girl I'll be back tonight, but if something happens here and I miss it, I lose the whole story. I nodded. Didn't even say nothing at first because I felt him. The hustle out there was different. People weren't just chasing headlines, they were chasing hope. Hoping their clip went viral, hoping they caught the one angle the major networks missed. Hoping for that comment, that share, that repost from somebody important. And I ain't knocking it. I respect it, but I also realized something deeper. Everybody's filming, but nobody knows who they're filming. I watched it happen over and over. A woman walks by, not famous, not Diddy's lawyer, not even a known witness. Just someone walking toward the building with a tote bag, and suddenly, a swarm of phones, people turning their cameras, zooming in, yelling things like, "Who's that? Is that her? I think she in it. Film just in case. And that's when I turned my camera away and started filming them. Because the moment wasn't the woman with the bag, the moment was the people losing their minds over her. I leaned over to one lady near me and asked real casual, "Hey, who's that?" She didn't even blink. I don't even know. That's when it hit me. We've all become paparazzi. Not for fame, not for money, just for the possibility that we might catch something that makes us feel important. And I ain't saying I'm better than nobody. I had my camera out too. But I'm different in why I do this. Not to show off, not to act big time, but because I'm trying to bring y'all the clearest, most honest truth possible. I could do this on a phone, I could wing it like everyone else, but I know what this story means. So when I show up equipped, because somebody out there needs to hear the story clearly. Not fuzzy, not shaky, not halfway documented. Somebody needs to see it like they were standing next to me.
What message coming out? You got some other people coming out as well. All right, we're gonna have some conversations going on. You know, we gotta get the update.
I think
eat tonight, all of that. You know,
my tell people now that they have actually got to stick with
anchor lady that's walking in the court right there with the pink on.
Early,
she always killing it.
You can turn it into a case.
The press line. Who's real? Who's paid? And who's just acting for the frame voice? Uncle Mike, watchful, seasoned, exposing the game. By this point, I had already been outside long enough to know what was real and what was just dressed up to look real. I stood there scanning the front of the courthouse, press line taped off, big metal barricades locked down like we was at a sold-out concert, cameras everywhere, wires, tripods, booms, people with credentials hanging from their necks like gold medallions. And let me tell you something, it was a performance. It wasn't just people reporting the story, it was people performing the idea of being media. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with the outfits. The camera crew, the real ones, they dress like ghosts. Jeans, hoodies, jackets with lint on the sleeve. Some of them looked like they just rolled out of bed. That's how you know they pros. They're not here to be seen. They are the camera. But then you got the on-camera people. The ones sitting in folding chairs looking flawless from the waist up. I seen one lady in a blazer, gold earrings, makeup laid like she was about to do a BIT red carpet. I was thinking, okay, cool, TV ready. But then she stood up. Ripped jeans, house slippers, no lie. I seen a pair of chewed up leaning to the side, grocery store sandals on a woman whose upper half looked like CNN. And that's when it clicked. This whole line is just a highlight reel. The bottom half is the blooper reel. Then came the actors. I ain't talking about Diddy's team or the lawyers. I'm talking about the people in line just hoping to be seen. You know how you can tell somebody wasn't here to cover the story, but to become part of the story. They start loud talking, start shouting about the case when a camera's nearby, start talking to strangers about freedom and conspiracy like they've been following the trial since day one. But you can tell they only read one Instagram caption and decided to come down for clout. I heard one guy say, "Man, I've been here all week. Day one, I seen Cassie go in." Then another guy next to him said, "Bro, they just called her yesterday. That wasn't even her." Silence. Busted. He pulled his hood up and walked off like he was headed to get a coffee, but we all knew he was just trying to disappear out of frame. Then there was this wild moment. A guy with a half-broken phone taped to a selfie stick was trying to stream live and low-key interview people at the same time. But the way he was talking sounded more like an interrogation than a conversation. He walks up to a woman and says, real dry, "What hotel are you staying at? Are you by yourself? What are you doing with your footage?" It wasn't even polite, didn't introduce himself, didn't say what platform he was on, just firing questions like he was building a case against her. I was a few feet away thinking, bro, you might as well ask her what body bag size she wears. Meanwhile, I'm talking to folks like, yo, you Uber here or are you staying nearby? Your hotel decent? You been coming out here every day? Just human, just real, just connection. That's the difference. Some people out here trying to build a name. Me, I'm out here trying to protect the truth. Because if we all start acting just to be seen, then who's left to see what's actually happening?
Then Diddy looks to her, say, yo, look, man, get your ass up out of my crib, man. I don't want you around here. Get your ass on, right? So she like, what? Diddy just kidnapped me. I ain't even got no car. Luckily, I got on some shoes. So boom, she like this, get the trucking. She got that thumb out. She got the walking. You know what I mean? Them boots was made for walking. I think she had on sneakers that day though. But look, she start walking, get on her good foot. She getting on her good foot. You know what I mean? So as she getting on her good foot, before she make the right to get about the way, they said, what could you see? Could you still see Cassie? She said, yeah, I could still see Cassie. And she was just still on the ground. They're like, this before you hit the bench? She's like, yeah, she was still on the ground. And he was just kicking her. Like, where was he kicking her? He was kicking her like on her back and the behind, but basically he was just kicking her all the places that wasn't on the ground.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I almost gave up. After all the driving, after the chaos, after the gear, the noise, the tents, the silence, I stood outside that courthouse, looked around, and felt like this was a mistake. Everything I imagined didn't happen. The big crowd, not there. The media chaos, calm. The people, mostly just confused, or performing, or silent. And meanwhile, I'm out here with $400 less in my pocket, $300 for the hotel, not even a fancy one, just a place to sleep and charge up another $100 for parking. Yeah, New York don't play. You either pay or pray. Your car is there in the morning. And for what? No footage, no major moment, no drama, just me, some footage of people filming nobodies, and a whole lot of sidewalk. I remember just standing there, back against a cold wall, bag on my shoulder, camera still in my hand, and thinking, bro, you really drove hours for this. You should have stayed home. Ain't no point in keeping the camera on. I felt it in my chest, that weight, that disappointment. I was picturing y'all watching the footage like, Uncle Mike, this it? And the part that hurt the most, I believed it. But then something shifted, not outside, not around me, inside. I looked down at my bag, at the straps, at the tripod sticking out, at the mic peeking through the zipper, at my busted old camera lens cap. And I thought about why I even brought it all. Not for views, not for hype, not for a headline. To tell the truth in the clearest, rawest, most human way possible. Even if the truth looked like a disappointment. Even if nobody else was watching. Even if I had to stand there with nothing but silence, I was gonna show y'all what silence actually looks like. Because silence is part of the story too. And then I felt it. That little voice again. Not the one in my head, the one in my spirit. You already got what you came for. You just don't see it yet. And just like that, I got up off the wall, adjusted the strap on my shoulder, pulled the lens cap off, and hit record.
He ran around the corner, bro. This girl's going crazy again. She's going crazy again. She's going crazy.
There was a big fight just now outside.
Again, y'all. It was a big
Fight between Gene Deal and
Huh?
he shoved
She be in the court screaming and acting wild.
Gene Deal happened. You guys can go back there.
In Diddy court, you supposed to hold right. In the overflow, you deal stuff in there.
Yeah, let's push him out of his way.
Yeah. Wow.
This guy was a real... Don't do that. Mr. Deal said don't come in my space, so what did he do? What did he do? But you didn't
Why y'all in there? They're getting closer and closer. Up, up. You're doing 2 hours. I get this because you're trying to do your thing.
What did you do to him first? What did you do to him first inside the courtroom? What did you do to Mr. G Deal inside the courtroom right before my eyes? And why did I have to get in your face like this and tell you to step back from me? Why did I have to stand in front of Mr. Deal behind me and tell you to back up off of him?
Because it was 2 men handling business and you
And then what happened? But what happened?
That's for me to know.
But what did you do? So why you not telling the truth? My name is Kendall. I'm transparent.
But look how you right here. I can't have the same energy with you, sweetheart. I can't.
But you didn't have the same energy with him when he came outside either.
When he came outside, he left.
Man,
yo.
get out of here, pussy.
He left.
Get out of
He
here,
left,
pussy.
yo. What are you
Get
talking
out of
Am
here,
I
pussy.
supposed
You
to
was
be
outside
ignorant?
with
Why did they let you here? You stink, bitch. You ain't comb your hair. Your hair look like a bird nest. You look like a fucking pelican. You a loser. You smell like you sitting on an old period. You got an old period leaking out your pussy, and it's so heavy and strong like dry blood. You think you got a dick. Shut up. Shut up. I don't even know why they bring you here. You stink. You're poor. You can never talk to me. You're poor.
Oh my God.
The day I met Tisha Tales.
And almost lost my voice. Uncle Mike, humble, emotional, and funny in that y'all don't judge me way. It was supposed to be about the trial, the cameras, the crowd, the witnesses, Diddy, the lawyers, the heat outside that courtroom, but all of that faded. When I saw her, I had just finished vibing with Steph from Rotten Mango, still on a creative high, still feeling grateful that this spontaneous trip to New York was actually producing magic. And then, like something out of a dream, I looked up and saw the one person I had been praying to meet since all this began, the queen of courtroom commentary, the real voice behind so many of the stories I studied, reacted to, and learned from. The woman who wasn't just talking about the trial, she was breaking it down with soul, with depth, with fire, and now here she was, in the flesh. And let me tell y'all something, she was dressed like she was about to prosecute Diddy herself. Burgundy dress, sharp lines, elegant, strong, confident. She looked like a lawyer, a journalist, and a superhero all at once. And Uncle Mike, I was suddenly 13 years old again. I stood there frozen for a second, not knowing how to approach her. Me? The same Uncle Mike who's been on thousands of live streams. The same Uncle Mike who talks to rappers, producers, street cats, CEOs, and strangers with no script. Now all of a sudden, I'm nervous. And not just nervous, intimidated, but I had to go for it.
Now this the real deal right here. Yeah, Tisha Tales is in the house with Uncle Mike, y'all.
Hey, Uncle Mike.
The Music Recording Network, yeah.
Shout out to the Music Recording Network. Make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe. We got to get people out in here and support the people that are doing the good thing. Excellent content. Make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Most definitely.
And comment.
Yeah, we got excellent content because we do reactions to Tisha Tales. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it.
All right.
I mean, I didn't drive all this way, didn't pack all that gear, didn't pay $400 out of pocket just to watch her walk away. So I stepped forward. The noise around us was loud. Cameras, chatter, wind, people trying to position themselves for content. And I don't know if it was the volume or the fact that I was low-key in a dream state. But I didn't realize she was mid-conversation with another woman. And what did I do? I touched her arm, just lightly, just to get her attention. But the moment I did, that's when it hit me. Oh no, she's talking to someone. You just interrupted. I felt it immediately. I covered my mouth, hand halfway up, like I was trying to stop the words from falling out.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Hey. What's up?
They took us in early. That's all I was saying. You gotta get in.
And all I could say was, I'm so sorry for interrupting you. That was rude of me. She turned to me, looked me in the eyes, and with the calmest, softest voice said, "It's okay. What is it?" And I swear, I went blank, like completely blank, frozen, stuck, like a video buffering at 98%. I couldn't say a word, hands still over my mouth, eyes wide, knees low-key getting weak. You know how you see people freeze up on TV? People crying or acting silly when they meet a celebrity. You watch that stuff and say, yo, come on, bro, get it together. Until it happens to you. I was that guy now. She looked at me real kind and said, "Would you like to ask me something?" And right then, I felt my knees buckling. I said in my head, oh no, not Uncle Mike, not like this.
You better not fall out in front of Tisha Tales in the middle of this courthouse sidewalk.
Get up before somebody turns their camera around and makes you the story. I gave my head a shake, literally. And finally, I found my voice. I just want you to know, you are my biggest inspiration. I love everything you do. I told her how much I appreciate her work, how I even love the way she starts her videos with that signature intro. Hey y'all, somebody sit down and close the door. That line right there, it became part of my day, part of my rhythm, part of the reason I turn my mic on and speak like I do. She smiled, the warmest smile, said thank you. We took a picture. She let me film a quick video. And she even gave my channel a shout out on camera. She was cool as hell in real life. No diva energy, no I'm too big for this attitude, just love, respect, and mutual appreciation. And in that moment, I wasn't outside the courthouse. I wasn't a creator trying to make content. I wasn't just Uncle Mike with a mic and a camera. I was a student meeting his teacher. And that was worth every mile, every dollar, every second of self-doubt.
Don't say nothing. I start aggravated. Like, bro, if I'm in the courthouse and me and G deal getting into it, why is you coming out here saying something? And why is you in my face? This is two men. Why are you right here doing all of this? Back the fuck up. I'm not scared of no G deal, bro. We gonna get the content. Period, point blank, wherever y'all posting this at. You look familiar.
Meeting Lauren Collin. A message from Nancy Grace. Voice, Uncle Mike, humble, funny, wise, and walking in purpose. So after all that, after meeting Steph, after seeing Tells and barely surviving the starstruck moment of my life, you'd think I'd be done for the day, right? Nah, see, God had one more appointment on the calendar, and it was with a woman I couldn't even name at first. Now let me say this before I even go into the story. Uncle Mike got a gift. I got a heart that remembers faces, remembers vibes, remembers the moments. But names, Lord have mercy. I be blanking out on names like the Wi-Fi went out in my brain. It ain't disrespect, it ain't ego, it's just how I'm wired. People who know me, y'all know the deal. I remember you, I see you, but your name might take me a minute. So I'm outside the courthouse winding down the day, and I see this woman standing off to the side.
You did it so good. Put her up.
And she was, can I film you a little bit?
Yeah,
This
of
is,
course. Thank you
look
for
at this. This is one of my, look, I can't get this. Hey, can you
Hi.
hold this for a second?
This is my friend Sean. You know Sean's at Complex, by the way. Way cooler than me. But
Hey,
yeah.
Sean,
Hi.
what's going on? Can you see? Most definitely.
Hi.
You
It's heavy. I don't know how you carry it all the time.
Right. I just got used to it.
Nice though.
And
It's a
See
nice
those
camera.
arms that really show.
Now she don't have a big channel of her own, not that I've seen. She wasn't mobbed by fans or surrounded by cameras. She was just posted up, cool, low-key, quiet. But I recognized her, and something in me said, Uncle Mike, that's one of them people who works with greatness. And I was right. She wasn't just some random. She was part of a team that reports back to Nancy Grace.
I bet Sean comes is just twirling around in his chair in that courtroom.
The Nancy Grace. Yeah, 671,000 plus subscribers. Yeah, 300,000 plus views on a single video in just one day. Yeah, one of my heroes in this commentary game. The woman who breaks things down with fire and focus. The woman I've reacted to on my channel countless times. The woman whose team don't just do commentary. They study, they report, they deliver. So I knew if I'm standing next to someone who represents Nancy Grace, I gotta say something. Now let me tell y'all something else about Uncle Mike. I don't believe in tearing people down to rise up. I don't believe in jealousy. I don't believe in hate. That stuff gets you nowhere. What I believe in, lifting people up, praising good work, giving flowers while folks can smell them. Because when you do that, God will make a way. The right people will show up. Doors will open you didn't even knock on. So I walked up to her, I still couldn't remember her name, and said, excuse me, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. I know you're reporting back to Nancy Grace, and I think the work y'all do is incredible. Y'all inspire me every day. When you walk in love, not competition, you'll find yourself standing next to the very people you used to watch from your phone.
This my man, Deny. Hey, you'll be amazed at who you run into and who you gonna start doing business with. Now y'all know Uncle Mike don't play.
Hey bro, you know you finna catch so much backlash. Don't trust him, don't talk to him. Anyways, Mike is cool people, man.
The moment that changed everything, meeting Steph from Rotten Mango Voice. Uncle Mike, humble, excited, fan turned equal. Funny thing about moments that matter, they usually come when you're about to walk away. I had just finished filming a few basic clips. Nothing crazy, just testing angles, trying to make something out of the nothing I had gotten so far. Still feeling kinda defeated, but at least I was moving. Later on, I played the footage back, just checking my framing, trying to make sure I wasn't out here embarrassing myself with crooked shots. And right there in the background, just standing in line, minding her business, talking with her assistant, was Steph from Rotten Mango. At first, I didn't even realize it was her. I was too deep in my Spike Lee mode, practicing pans and zooms, trying to be artsy with the courthouse line like it was a movie scene. Then I noticed this woman in the crowd. Beautiful, calm, soft smile, sharp energy. Asian. She looked up, and we locked eyes. You ever have that moment where your brain's trying to connect the face, but your mouth jumps ahead of you? That was me. I smiled, tried to keep it cool, but my inner fan was screaming.
This is embarrassing, y'all.
Guess who is together in front of the federal courthouse?
The Rotten Mango.
This is Stephanie. Hello, nice to meet you guys.
And this is her assistant.
Oh.
I'm the type of, I was a person in the background all the time. And I was a good background person. But nobody gave me no props.
Yeah, but
so I always give the background, the people in the background, I give them the big time props. Give the background. She does a lot of work to make her look good.
No, it's all her. No, it's not. She's being humble. I would die without her.
See, look, and that's how they do it. That's how you can tell good people right there.
We react to your stories all the time. I hope you don't mind. We break them down and everything. She smiled. Warm, real, no ego. No, not at all. We love reaction channels. I love to see it. I swear, if I had wings, I would have floated. That one sentence refilled me, made me remember why I started this channel in the first place. We laughed, we talked, took pictures together like we were old friends finally meeting up at a family reunion. Even her assistant was cool. Kept giving Steph credit. Steph kept passing it back. She edits everything. No, she researches everything. No, she brings it all to life. No ego, no competition, just two creators in the middle of a federal storm, vibing like we was back in our bedrooms with a mic and a dream. That moment, it saved the trip. It reminded me that even when the content ain't what you expected, the connection is what makes it worth it. I didn't come to New York expecting to meet nobody. Didn't know I'd leave that day with a picture, a memory, and a reminder that the truth is worth chasing, even when the frame feels empty.
Bro, you gonna wanna get this.
Go ahead,
Last night, I interviewed a white gentleman named David Pittman, who is now 41.
You was in the courtroom, and you was behind.
So last night I interviewed a white man named David Pittman.
This situation is a serious matter with a black man's legacy.
Ryan Pittman filed a lawsuit against Diddy and Paparazzi Bentley on the 20th. I reached out to him. He did an interview with me. This man showed me and gave me pictures of an event from May 2003. Sean John.
I'm gonna get to you.
Black Americans don't act like that.
So this man right here sent me these pictures of him and Florence. That's him and Diddy. You see the shirt? This is a picture of Gene Deal next to Puffy with that same shirt, same jewelry, same everything. This white man right here told me that Gene Deal helped Puffy lace him and two minor girls at the Intercontinental Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia in 2003.
The kid, the t-shirt, and the missing footage. Voice. Uncle Mike. Smooth, warm, and brutally honest. Before we even get to day 2 and all the chaos that came with it, there's one more story y'all gotta hear from day 1. And it's about a dude I'll never forget. Now by this point in the day, I had already talked to a few people. I was taking my time, moving slow, feeling out the energy. Cause out there, it ain't just about who's got the biggest camera, it's about vibes. See, when you're outside the courtroom in the middle of a federal trial like this, everybody's trying to size you up. It's like a silent test. Are you cool or are you one of those arrogant jerks with a boom mic and a God complex? But me, I'm trying to ease and smooth, show love, make people laugh. Let them know, yo, I'm Uncle Mike. I ain't here to compete. I ain't here to front. I'm here to document the truth and treat people right. I didn't want no static. I didn't want no clout chasing beef. I just wanted to do what I do, with respect. Then this one little dude walked up to me. Small frame, no camera, no phone out. He looked like a lost kid at a grown-up party. He wasn't posting, he wasn't filming, he was just watching, quiet, observant, until he leaned in and hit me with the most unexpected question of the day. Hey, do you know where I can get one of those black t-shirts that say Free Diddy? I blinked. Wait, what? But I remembered this video I saw on YouTube about how to communicate better. Said you should answer questions directly before you start going off into explanations. So I said no. Then I followed up. Respectful, curious, but bro, do you think Diddy is innocent? And this dude, he opened up like a child talking to Santa. He said loud and proud, man, look, it's like this. I could care less if they let him walk or throw him under the jail, bro. All I care about is putting on that t-shirt and making that $20 an hour. Where they do that at? I swear to you, I almost dropped my camera. People around us busted out laughing. But he wasn't laughing, not even smiling. He was serious, like heart attack serious. And that's when I realized this wasn't about protest. This wasn't about Diddy. This was about hustle, about survival. This man came looking for a job, not a verdict. And you want to know what's crazy? At least 5 more people came up to me asking the same thing. Yo, you know where they giving out those Free Diddy shirts? How do I sign up to wear one?